All right. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome in. Take notes. Grab a pen. Welcome back to another episode of the Honorable Marvel Coop Show. The host, Chef Marv, no lie, I'm that guy. And
Yo, what it do? It's Raider Ragu. Not these again.
again,
Grab notes and take a pen. Get a pen. Take notes. Me and Coop is about to impart some wisdom
on y'all,
on the people.
sir.
What's up, my brother?
How you feeling today, my man?
Feeling spectacular.
It's almost that time.
Yeah, this is really the fun time. You know, this is the fun part of all of this shit, bro. Yeah.
This is the busiest time right here, buddy. I'm excited though.
Yeah,
I'm
really.
excited, man. So this is we hit y'all with the NFC, one burning question from each team. So this is the AFC side. So I know it's gonna take a while because when we get to the Raiders and the Steelers, it's gonna be game over. So just take some
Right.
take some notes and be patient. So grab your snacks, your popcorns, your mama, your great grandmamas, everybody, and just tune in and enjoy the show. So
Yes,
going
sir.
alphabetical order. Let's start with these Ravens, man. So one question, Rabzo. Was 2025 a sign of trouble for the Baltimore Ravens? All balls out of there. And they got some new blood up in there. So
Yeah, I would say yeah. It was
yeah.
telltale signs of I don't want to say complacency, bro, but you know, a little bit of I think early in the season they had a little bit of all we got to do is show up.
Yeah.
And our roster is so big and bad that we gonna beat people. People just gonna be scared and basically let us beat them. And
Which is crazy.
got off to a horrible start.
Mm.
Then, you know, played some good football coming back after they got Lamar healthy and all that. And then that's the thing, too.
Yeah.
So with Lamar, it's starting to be a every year one of the knees or something, bro. You know, so yes, last year was for real. I think they kind of underestimated. I ain't gonna say underestimated, but you know what I mean. They got a little. Was reading their own press clippings a little bit before the season. Everybody was talking. Remember, everybody was talking about them in the offseason. Like, oh man, that roster, that roster is something else. And then they went out and basically shit it down their leg at 8 and 9.
Yes.
But you know, managed to still score the most points in the North.
Which is crazy.
And just, you know, gave up just a few less than you guys and the Browns. So on paper, it wasn't horrible, but you know, it didn't work out like they thought, bro. They were thinking they was gonna have a season more like Jacksonville or Houston.
That's
right?
a good way to put it. Yeah. They were definitely their own worst enemy, man. Not gonna lie to you. After leading that NFL in offense in 2024, like you said, they dropped from 16th, I think, to damn near 27th in passing yards this year. And like I said, we all know my man was hurt.
Yeah.
But the defense, man, whew, they regressed, man. I don't know what happened with the defense, man.
Defense did regress.
Second time in 8 years they missed the playoffs. 8 years. And what's in line for Mr. Mentor here, who replaces the longtime coach, Mr. Harbaugh? Like, what do you feel like needs to be done? And there's a new offensive coordinator over there.
Yeah, it's just that, bro. It's a new voice. You feel me? I guess was it Steve Biscotti? Or I guess he was like, man, it's time to shake shake shit up.
Yeah.
Like this roster is too good to be performing like this, and maybe John, having been here so long, they got a little comfortable, a little laxed or whatever. The message had got a
Yeah.
little stale.
It
You
did.
feel me? I think he comes in, bro, and I was gonna say get it right by cracking, but the offensive coordinator that's gonna be interesting.
Yes, it
Defensively, I
is.
expect them to be good. I expect them to be better than last year for sure on defense. They're gonna be
Most
good.
definitely. Most definitely.
Offense with the guys that they have, you would think that they're gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
They got to figure it out, man. Stay
Most definitely.
healthy, figure it out. Who is the Okor? You know?
Doyle, Clan Coyle, or something like that.
Oh yeah, see,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's one of them questions JC would be like, "Who?" type deals.
right.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm gonna have to do a wait and see. My first instincts tell me, yeah, they'll be back, win 11, 12 games, but I'm gonna wait and see.
This roster is way too good, like you said, to like, can they revive their playoff hopes or even push further? Because, like I said, it's looking like a Super Bowl team on paper. But like you always say, it ain't a paper game, brother.
Sure not. That's why they play the games. That's why they schedule and
Yeah.
play the games.
My
Because
pop said they window could be closed like Detroit's.
hey, and he could be right about that.
Who? I'm not mad if they window closed. I ain't mad if they window closed, man.
Because you can't just like be playing with the window, bro.
You
Not
sure
not to
can't.
sound crazy or nothing, but
But you can't. You're right. You cannot play the window, my brother.
when the window's open, bro, you got to go through it.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Here's the Buffalo Bills. I'm trying not to spend too much time on these guys. How will Coach Brady's vision for the team differ?
Man, I was just talking about this dude last night.
Yeah.
Got his coach fired.
Mhm.
Uh, then he crying and shit on the
Anyone here?
TV after he threw 3 picks and fumbled in the playoffs.
Mhm. Crazy.
I don't know what Joe Brady brings to the table besides, catering to Josh Allen, basically. So, yeah, I don't know, man. These guys, they went 12-5. They
Yeah.
lost the division to the Patriots, fired the coach. Anything else than winning the division, going to F championship, going to and winning the Super Bowl, I would think is a failure for them
Mhm.
at this point.
Mhm. Josh Allen still remains the driving force behind these guys. I see they just acquired DJ Moore today, so
Yeah, yeah,
got
they
a
did.
got a number one receiver, I guess. So Buffalo's trying something different after the defensive minded Sean McDermott has struggled and couldn't
Yeah,
get over the hump.
there we go.
So I don't know. Still surprised McDermott ain't have a job yet.
He said, I think he said he wanted to sit out.
Oh, you said now?
Yeah, yeah, he would
Gotcha.
have got hired.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he would have got a job.
Mm. I don't know, man. I still think the Bills gonna be the same.
What 12? What
And
12?
always,
12-win
always
team and then out in the playoffs?
out in the playoffs, like 11, 12 win seasons, and just out in the playoffs. Because, like I said, they're their own worst enemy as well. Yeah.
We'll
Cincinnati,
see.
huh? Good.
We'll see.
Yeah, only time will tell. Only time will tell. Oh man, Cincinnati Bengals. How will they inject life into the defense?
How many draft picks they got?
That's the real question. How many draft picks did they have last year? And they only drafted that weak link Shamar Stewart and didn't draft no other guys on defense.
I don't know what's up with them.
Their
They,
Achilles heel has just been it's just been it has a it's like a leaky. This is crazy. I don't know how to describe it, man. Joe Burrow's health it deserves attention, of course. But the defense is just and Big Trey, we don't know what's up with him.
right.
Likely on his way out. Boosting the pass rush, is going to be critical. Adding another defensive lineman to the last year's draft, it's not working over there. Like you trade away all your good players. The one player that actually was great, led the league in sacks a year ago. Guys treating him like garbage. What's going on? You don't know how to treat your defensive players.
So to that point,
Mm-hmm.
they have been projected or mocked
Yeah.
to go defense, defense, defense. They got 10, 30, 10, 44. No, my bad. 41. Number 10, number 41,
Mm-hmm.
and number 71. No, number 72. And they got all of those are guys that's been on the radar in their position group in this draft. So they're addressing the defense. That's so when the first three picks, they have um
Need
they
to get my
have
boy. Need to get my boy Caleb
David
Downs
Bailey.
over there. Nah, get Caleb Downs over there because you need some. You need some strength in that secondary.
They got David Bailey, the edge rusher from Texas Tech, going
No, no,
10th
no,
overall.
no, no, no. You need some
Then
more
they're
strength
going to
in
come
that
back and
defense,
get Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the safety from Toledo. They got him projected second round pick at number 41.
man.
I heard he's a pretty good player too.
But you need a strong safety, a good strong safety over there. Like I said, get my boy Caleb Downs over there. He can help that defense. He's gonna help that secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, they would have to get Downs at 10 if he's there at 10. Let me see if
That's
they
what I'm
got.
saying. Yeah, if he's there at 10, if the Jets don't steal him first. Because my boy could go top 5. One of the best safeties in the league. So
I got it right here down 7 to the Commanders.
oh. Hey. Wherever he go, I'm
And
gonna get
then
his jersey. So it's all
at
good.
72, the dude Daryl Jackson from Florida State. I was watching him today on the one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Look, looks
Looks
pro.
solid.
Looks pro. Yeah.
Looks pro, but is he a pro? That's the real question.
Yeah, big guy. Big you know, big block eater inside there, 3 tech.
Mm. Hey. Only time will tell with the Bengals, but hey, they're like I said, another team that's his own worst enemy. On the defensive side, at least. Like I said, they can score points, but
I'm gonna come with
like we
Yeah.
always said, they can always get popped at the end.
Oh yeah, 100%. They score.
Most
One of
definitely.
the better offenses in the entire league.
Most definitely. Most definitely. The Cleveland Browns. Did they set Monken up for failure? So, like I said, after working his way up to the coaching ranks, he's officially finally getting his shot as an NFL head coach. However, several challenges await this guy, which is funny. The Browns quarterback room lacks a clear starter. We all know that. Even former rookie Mr. Sanders, who made a Pro Bowl by flukeness, in my opinion, but I'm proud of him. He showed some flashes last season. I'm proud of the kid. Tight end Harold Fanning he's going to be a good addition to. He's a good offensive weapon in that guy. So Cleveland does not have a true number one receiver. We all know that. The offensive line is aging, And the defense is good. You know, Myles Garrett. But Jim Schwartz is not there no more. So it's going to be a steep task for this first year coach. What you think?
Yeah, definitely. And a guy that, he may end up proving that he's a good coach, but he's a guy that many people didn't even have on the head coaching radar.
Exactly.
This cycle of hirings and firings, and he just, the word had started being that. Well, no, it's not the word. What was happening was two different coaches pulled their name out of the Cleveland head coaching search, right? They like, thanks but no thanks.
Yeah.
And then the rumors about the writing of essays and all this
Crazy.
kind of stuff. And what I mean by that, I want to be clear because that's something that I got to be better at. I'm talking to you, but I need to tell everybody what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns front office allegedly was having head coaching candidates testing like a college exam, and it included an essay that they had to write about whatever. And these are coaches, man. So you had
Yeah.
guys dropping out. The joke had become they were a joke. It was like, man, who they gonna get to take that job? And then all of a sudden they announced Todd Monken. Monken is the offensive coordinator or was the offensive coordinator in Baltimore. He had been with John Harbaugh for a while. That's the program that they run. So that's what I expect. They're gonna run, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna either draft a fullback or make a D tackle into a fullback or something like that, and run the ball. That's what I suggest. That's what I suspect that they're gonna do. How much success this coach is gonna have, I could be wrong, and I've been wrong about coaches before, but I don't know about this hire right here, man. If he does right by Shador, maybe they'll have a shot. Maybe they'll have a shot to be a decent team. But if you come in there with that same old, I don't know who the quarterback is, all that, bro,
Yeah. It's not going to work for him.
it's not. It's going to go back. That's my take on it. It's probably most likely going to go bad. By the way, addressing that O-line problem that you uh, spoke of, they are selected or slotted to take Fano at 6.
No.
Yep.
Please don't. Please don't. Cleveland. That is a 10-year guy we always talk about. Mm-mm.
Well, they had better get him.
Man, they don't know how to treat no offensive lineman. They don't know how to treat offensive linemen regularly. Mm-mm.
Yeah, they got him slotted right at 6. So, they picking smart. If this is real, they're doing the right thing. They got Schlesinger last year and the D tackle. So
Yeah, Mason.
they building out that defense. They're building in the trenches. And then they got the second round. They got the second first round pick, and they is slated to take Denzel Boston, the receiver from Washington. So give Shador a nice big target,
Yeah.
some young fresh legs. This looks good, but
I hope so. It's a little questionable, brother.
I just don't know about the cup.
All right, so professional Denver Broncos, unprofessional donkeys. Can the offense acquire more high-end talent at the skills position? They won 14 games and came within a win of hosting that Lombardi Trophy despite not having playmakers like Mr. Bo Nix, J.K. Dobbins wasn't there as well. With their season injuries, R.J. Harvey wasn't there, I believe, as well.
I think he played. He
Did
was
he? Did
there.
R.J. play? R.J.
Yeah,
played? Okay.
he was actually balling.
Yeah. And then, players like Cortland Sutton, who had 1,000-yard season, you know. But do they need like a star over there? Do you feel like they need a star over there, or you feel like they can really run it back? Do you feel like they need like a true number one receiver, like a true star,
So
like receiver, running back, and stuff like that to get over the hump?
I understand the sentiment, right? It seems
Yeah,
like they don't have a name on offense, right? When you say
right.
Broncos, you like, damn, who
Who
they got?
who
You know what I'm
who
saying?
they got? Exactly.
So I understand where people come from on that.
Yeah,
I do like the fact that Knicks is able to just spread it around to a bunch of guys that none of us know,
exactly.
right? And that it obviously was worked out pretty doggone good for
Hmm.
them. What they have, I mean, we do know they have Cortland Sutton. What they have is a bunch of good players that haven't quite made a name for themselves yet,
Yeah.
outside of the ones on defense. They
Hmm.
got guys on defense that definitely are names in the league.
Hmm.
Offensively, though, none of these guys have made a name for themselves. Me, we won the AFC West with these guys, so I don't need a name. I needed to have kicked the field goal when the sun was out
Yeah,
in the playoffs is what I needed to have done, coach.
exactly.
Uh, uh, um,
Peyton. Well, yeah.
so nah, bro. I don't think they need a name, and they don't have a first round pick. Cool. They
No, they
don't.
don't. Mm-mm.
The guy though that they have them slated to get in the second round, um, they talked about him being the nastiest alignment in the draft. This kid, Keelan Rutledge from Georgia
Hmm.
Tech. So a great pick if they do make that selection. And yeah, they're gonna be in the mix. The way that they built the team,
Yeah,
they're gonna be in the mix for a while, man. When if they're able to re-sign defensive players as those contracts expire,
right.
that's gonna be another question. Free agency might kill them, but yeah, I think they'll be right back in the
You think they'll
um
be back in the mix?
yeah, and I do not think that they need to worry about grabbing a
Yeah,
name guy, although I could see them snatching up, like, say, a Mike Evans. And
yeah. Just a home run hitter to
yeah,
take either like I said, either in the backfield pause or a wideout.
yeah.
Just to help take some of that pressure off of Bo and the defense because we all know hell of a defense. They don't need nobody on defense. They good. They can run it back with that defense, but get
And
somebody
offensively, they could use a little on field help.
help. Exactly. Houston, is there any way to save CJ Stroud, my man? So his rookie year, we all know was phenomenal. It's a great memory, but I feel like he struggled to reproduce a little bit. He reproduced some of that magic that he had, man. That had him recognized as a surefire bet to be the Texans' long-term answer at this quarterback situation. But instead, he's only gotten worse in some serious inconsistent play. Had an ugly playoff performance, man. So
Perhaps the worst
yeah,
of all the quarterbacks.
but is it because they changed coordinators last season? Or does because we all know D'Amico is riding with this kid. He say, hey, this is my guy. I'm sticking with him. But so I don't think he has another solution. But do you think they could save CJ Stroud? Because at the rate it's going, Stroud could become a franchise later what if case, in my opinion. And I don't want that to
Bro,
happen to him.
quite simply, so you saw what they did yesterday, a couple days ago, too, right?
Traded
David Montgomery, they signed
Montgomery.
David. Yeah, they traded David
which
Montgomery.
was
Traded for David Montgomery for a 5th-round pick,
which is good.
which just made them better. They already had number one defense in the league last year.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Simply with CJ, the way to kind of look out for him, take care of his shortcomings or whatever.
Yeah.
They have to secure home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Yes, they do.
They got to play at home and
Yes.
then try to make it to the neutral site Super Bowl in warm weather as well. Because the kids just looked. Well, if ever I seen a player look like they didn't want to be there, that guy did not want to be in New England playing in that. I don't even know the temperature, the opticals on it, ice and shit on the ground. Bro, it was
It's
brutal.
crazy.
He couldn't even make a throw. Come on, cool. We seen him make
Yeah.
these throws all the time, bro. The some of the pass attempts, I was like, man, take him out.
No, you're right. You're right. I don't get it, brother.
Couple times I was like,
I
man,
don't
y'all
get it,
take him
man.
out, bro. He doesn't want to be there. He want to go stand by the heater, bro. So yeah, CJ is not a cold weather quarterback, as it turns out.
Yeah,
I
it
think
made
that is
sense
proven.
because you know why it made sense years ago when they played the Browns in the first round. They was at home, so you hit it on the money right there
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that whole yeah. I was like, okay, because when you
You
said him,
saw how he was looking, bro.
I was like,
It was
Ragu
his
might
body
be on to
language, his
something.
facial expressions, all that, and his play was
Yes,
hard, bro. He did not. He wanted to be anywhere but there.
exactly. I don't get it, man. But so you got hopes for him? You think it could be saved
I think they know what they need to do. They got to play as many games. When
and
they
win
make it
as
to the
many
postseason, they
games?
got to play as
Yes.
many games in that dome stadium
Yeah.
that they can.
Well spoken. This is
Because I really feel like they probably go to Super Bowl, man. If they was playing at home,
yeah.
that defense was
Man.
that tough.
Wow.
Right? The only thing is Nico was banged up at the end.
Tank was coming from a fresh injury as well.
Yeah, and they really looked out for CJ too. They drafted the two receivers from
From the same
Iowa State.
college, yeah, from the same
They,
college.
and they played good too coming down the stretch when they finally start getting in there.
They did.
So that's what I'm saying, bro. They added Montgomery. I don't know what's up with Mixon, but they got Marks. They still got Chubb now. Montgomery.
Wow,
They got
that
all
is
these receivers. They taking care of him, bro. They looking out for CJ. Now it's time for him to produce. Okay, now if they get the home field, cut the playoff games at home, and then he sits
yeah.
down his leg, okay, now we gotta have a conversation about
Yes, you're right.
moving on. Yeah.
You're right. I should have saved that question for next year because we got to see what's going on with you, man.
But right now, they need to get them. They need to be able to play at home. They got to turn it on in the regular season and get home field.
Amen. Well, man, Jay Will's Colts, Indianapolis Colts, people. Ragu, did they leave themselves into a dead end? So I talked hella shit. The Colts were locked into a competitive window the moment they traded the two first picks for Sauce. As a result, the franchise almost has to attempt to re-sign Jones, Alec Pierce. Pierce appears to be doesn't know what he wants to do. He wants to hit the gamble. I mean, he wants to hit the market. He had over at 1K. So
Pierce,
what's
Pierce
the
has a
Alec Pierce?
robust.
Yes.
He has a robust market
Hmm.
this all season, and I believe that
Yeah.
they don't think he's worthy of that.
I don't know, man. I would pay him and Michael Pittman.
That Jamar slash
Yeah.
a CD.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't feel like he deserved that money, and to be able to keep him, they was gonna have to franchise tag him,
Yeah.
and then they have to give him that kind of money. So they
And
didn't franchise tag him, and he's got a robust market. I expect him to be gone. The
I
thousand,
actually
the 1,000 yards
I
that he
expect Pittman to be gone. There's some rumors that they could cut Pittman to save some cap
if they cut
space.
him, then Pierce will stay. They not,
Yeah.
they're not gonna let both of them go. I'm
Right.
thinking Pierce is gonna have a healthy market. He's gonna get a nice payday, bro. He caught
Mm-hmm.
the 1,000 yards. Cool. He
Yep.
only had 50 some catches, bro. So had that 1,000. So he
Exactly.
leads the league in like 21 yards per catch. I'm gonna just go ahead and say, bro, I need the Raiders to be in on him, right? With
Oh my God.
Flowers on our team, this guy is the perfect receiver to put out there at the X and clear that shit out. You know what I mean? Clear all that out,
Facts.
bro, and let Brock work underneath. So yeah, that's all. Like he gonna have a robust market. I don't know how much the Raiders are gonna end up paying him, but he's going to the Raiders.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah. If we could get him and Linderbaum and Josh Jones, the backup tackle out of Seattle, we can get those three guys in free agency, man. We're gonna be cooking with grease.
Damn.
But we ain't even
So
talking about the Raiders yet. My bad.
no, you good. You good. You good. I just feel like Indy might not be able to pivot after backing themselves into a corner like this, man.
No, you're right, because they traded the picks.
Yep.
Now Jones is hurt. They transition tag Jones. So
It's looking
that
ugly for
simply
Colts
means
right now.
that whoever, he can sign to another team and
Hmm.
Indy can match it or let him go. That's what they did for Jones. That's one of them ones where they saying, nah, we don't believe he's going to have any interest in the league.
Yeah. Oh man.
But just in case
Jacksonville.
he does, we'll transition tag it.
Mm. This is going to be a tough question. So, Jacksonville Jaguars. What is Thomas Jr.'s role moving forward? So, after a stellar rookie season from the guy, Brian Thomas Jr., you and I talked about him, came back down to earth his sophomore year with only 700 some yards and 2 touchdowns. Quiet.
And had some drop issues too, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
The Jaguars held on to Thomas at the trade deadline. I thought he was going to get traded. There was a lot of talks and speculation that he could, be traded, but they saved him. And this might be they might. You think they could move on from him this offseason? You know,
You know what? I heard some trade chatter.
me too. I heard a lot of trade chatters.
I did. I was surprised too.
Me too. I tell Steelers go get him.
They got Jacoby from us during the season and then paid him too.
Yeah, so Jacoby's locked in now.
So Jacoby's locked in. But you need more than one guy. If you'd have asked me this, excuse me, after last season, I'd have been like, you crazy, man. What are you thinking about? This
Mm.
guy's sensational. But yeah, he did come back to earth,
Yeah,
did have the drop issues. The whispers have been
the whispers been
yeah,
talking, Brago.
but
I'm sorry, man.
I'm gonna say they're gonna keep everything the same. He
Mm-mm,
won't be moved.
mm-mm.
And they'll give him they'll give him an opportunity to see if he is really more like the junior. I mean, the rookie year, or is he like last year? That's the question right now.
That is the real question, my brother.
And it's probably somewhere in between that. You feel me? Like he probably ain't quite as good as that rookie year, and he ain't as
I
bad
think
as
he
last year.
is. Man, listen. I think Thomas is he's solid, bro. That's what I'm saying. Steelers,
Where they picking
get
at?
him, get him. Ah,
They picking at
nah, no picks for him, man. Get rid of some of that talent that we don't use.
oh, they got no pick in the first round.
We got to pick in the first round, but don't trade no picks for him. No, 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 no. Get some of that talent that we don't use or utilize off the team and go get a receiver. You got a free agent in Tyreek Hill, but here's the thing: I don't want to gamble. I know we ain't on the Steelers. Let me stop too. I'm getting ahead of myself too. Um, not gonna spend some time on these guys either, Ragu. Kansas City Chiefs. What can they do to help Mahomes? So they brought back Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator, who's a familiar face in that franchise. He's ready to push the Chiefs back, the offensive forward. So we don't know what's going on with Mahomes and his injury. So he could be out for like what, half the year or all year. We don't know. But here's the
Um,
thing. Here's the crazy part. This is they have a league low negative 54 million in cap space.
Indy traded their first and second round picks for Sauce.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my bad.
No, you good. You good.
Okay, Mahomes.
You
Okay, got to be professional, right?
nah, you cool.
Got to be
Uh,
professional.
mhm.
You probably got to get. I think you got to get the top flight running back in there. Probably.
Top flight running back.
I'm talking like a some. He's getting to the point now, and I ain't saying he can't do the run around and all that no more. But y'all,
Hmm. I don't know, Ragu. Oh.
he can't. You know what I'm saying, bro? They
Yeah,
need to get to
you're
the point in
right.
his career where they got to get him some serious, reliable help.
Hmm.
They can't just keep relying on him doing all the heroics and doing all that shit. So
Yeah.
um, with the running back being dynamic for them, it changes. It makes their play calling more difficult to deal with. When the back ain't really shit for KC,
Mm-hmm.
if you trip off of them, then their offense is more stopped. You feel me? Is much more stoppable. So I think they need to get Mahomes a top flight running back, even if they got to go ahead and draft one high. Um, Here I see they got Cassius Howell, edge rusher, going to them first round at number 29, which is a good pick.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say after that, they got to address the running back situation. Pacheco's been banged up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, kind of starch has kind of been knocked out of him a little bit, I feel. And, and they're going to have to address that running back room.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, I don't know. I still like, yeah. I don't know, man. Like I said, the kingdom's done over there. He's done what he
And you
can.
kind of do like Denver too, right? With the receivers, you'd be like, who are these guys?
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't even be talked about if they didn't play with Mahomes.
Exactly.
You feel
Exactly
me?
my
So
point.
they don't have names out at the wideout really, and when they got a name out there, it didn't even work out. So yeah, I think for them running back, and I
Right.
really don't want to have to talk too much more about them. Want them. I'm glad they took a step back last year. And Mahomes ain't even gonna be ready.
That's what I said. He might not be ready, brother. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're a little down. 6-11. They staring back-to-back 6-11 seasons and right in the face, I think.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Uh, you ready?
Let's do it.
The Las Vegas Raiders. I have one question, and then I'll let you do your thing, brother. Will Crosby remain with the team?
Well, that is the question, right? As of
Yeah.
press time,
Yes.
right now on March 5th at about
Mm-hmm.
7 Eastern,
Yep.
he is still a Raider. However, bro, I think this is a real where there's smoke, there's fire situation. And this time it ain't just chatter.
Yeah.
It's really been some from what I understand, this shit is real. Let me just say, Raider Ragu. I cover the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is real. I 50-50 expect them. Maybe even a 51-49. Expect Max to be traded before next Wednesday. Right now, I think they trying to make sure whatever team they send them to, they can get as much as possible and as high a pick as possible. Uh, don't get me wrong, I don't want them to trade Max, but I think they're about to trade Max, bro. And they're looking to get a number one this year and maybe even a number one next year and a player. That's what they want. I've heard that it's been more of a number one this year, a player, and a second rounder next year. And even that is not bad, depending on who that player is and where that pick is. So yeah, that's where that's at, bro.
Damn.
And you know me, I did a video. I'm still on some. Dallas got the two number one picks, bro. So I had a nice conversation with my guy Gemini this
So,
afternoon concerning the NFL CBA rules and all that. And as long as George signed the tag, they can then trade him. So yes, you can trade a player on a franchise tag. So
yes, you can.
if they on the phone with Jerry right now, bro, and they like, George, one of the picks, one of the first round picks, and next year's second, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't want him to go, but I'll take that. I'll take that. But yeah, I
Well,
think
here's the thing. I know he's reportedly unhappy, bro. But he's already brushed off the trade rumors though. He hasn't really completely closed the door yet. He still would love to like.
he didn't close the door either way. That's the thing. In off seasons past, you got to understand, Coach. This has been every off season for the last couple of years now.
But then Clint and Mr. Mark Davis said like a month ago that they want him on the team.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So even with potential rebuilding, there's no reason for the Raiders to trade this man who's a stud, you know, the difference maker on the defense. So no, hell no, man. Like, look here, man. We trying. Go sit your ass down. We trying. Go sit down.
Well, like I
Max,
said too, if you want to
Max.
solve this, if you Mark Davis, Johnny Spytek, Tom Brady, and crew,
Yeah,
always just bring him in and give him some more money. Because even though it's not about
yeah.
the money,
It ain't
it's
about the
always
money.
about the money,
It's about
right?
winning now. He got the money. He wants to win. He got
But
his
I'm
money.
saying, I'm
He
saying,
wants.
I bet you, if they come in and be like, okay, we're gonna give you what Miles, the same thing, Miles. I bet you it'd be like,
Oh, look.
bet you'd be like, well, okay.
He ain't talking no more. He ain't talking no more if they give him that Miles money, bro. I guarantee you that. I bet you he'll break the sack record with that if he get that money. Trust me.
I'm telling you, that's what they should do. If they want to shut all this shit down, all these talks, call his agent, be like, look, man, we got the Miles deal for him.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him to come sign.
Yes.
And I just shut all this shit down, bro, because it's
Facts.
always about the bread.
Mm,
I give a damn. Even when they say it ain't.
I I get you, my brother. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, moving on from that, you know, the Raiders are going to select Fernando, number one. The only question is, do they start him right away? And
Yes.
as of right now, March 5th, 2026, I'm in the don't start him right away camp.
What? Really?
And I'm not talking a full season or nothing like that, but I'm saying let him watch them first 4, 5, 6 games, bro, on the
Who he
sideline.
okay, who he gonna watch?
Probably O'Connell.
Hell no. You mean to tell me I'm the number one draft pick, number one overall draft pick? I just won the Heisman and all this stuff like that, and I gotta watch this bum? Hell no.
Yeah.
I get it, Ragu sitting the quarterback, but like I've been saying over the years, who you got me watching?
Oh, man.
Bro, hey,
Yeah.
look at me. You a great cornerback, right? That's like me
Right.
playing cornerback. All right, I'm gonna learn from Ragu. Cool, bet. But if I got a scrub in front of me that ain't shit, hell no.
And that's why you're going to, get him out of there by week 4, 5, 6. Right?
Ugh,
We
this
want him
is
to see his first quarter of the league. We want him to be able to sit, clipboard in hand, headphones on, taking everything in, bro.
yeah,
We don't want him to get overwhelmed. We don't want him to get overwhelmed. And,
yeah.
we got some work to do on the offensive line, although I expect the offensive line will be uh, good to go.
Hmm.
But I'm a fan of just letting him check it out right quick, bro, because it's no rush. Once he gets in there, he's finna be in there for the long run, bro. So don't, and I know, all grind family gonna see this. They're gonna be like, what? Ragu, not Mr. Get your ass in there, right? But, listen to Brady and what he thinks about doing with quarterbacks and how he thinks about going at it and how
Yeah,
his career went. I really think they're gonna kind of let him come on into the season, probably by about week 6 or so. That's what I'm thinking.
mm-hmm.
But he will be drafted number one, and
I just heard from the transplant team.
yeah,
Not too much time on these bums. Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers. Can McDaniel take Herbert to the next level? So they getting Slater and Joe Alt back on the line, which I think will help improve that line. From definitely improvement from what I've seen in that playoffs. Like Mike McDaniels, he's shown to elevate some of these quarterbacks.
true.
So I'm thinking that he could, you know. Because like I said, without them two, he was sacked 54 times last year. And I was talking about Justin Herbert, y'all. So this is going to be his seventh season. He's still chasing his first playoff win in the MVP caliber campaign that many thought was possible when they drafted him in 2020. So you think he can elevate him to the next level? I'm talking about Mike McDaniel, my boy. Can
Yeah,
Mike
Mike
McDaniel?
McDaniel, the offensive coordinator that's been hired by the Los Angeles Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this man had Tua in
Hmm.
MVP talks.
Yeah.
He had Tua leading the league in passing for a time in the during the regular season. So to answer your question, yeah, he's gonna get Herbert's gonna have better stats, right? Herbert's gonna have a better completion percentage. Herbert might even be an MVP talk. And you know, be close to leading the league in yards and all that.
Man,
But when the playoffs start,
what's gonna happen exactly? I get it. That's the real question. That is the real question. But hey,
San Diego, Los Angeles
mm-hmm.
is a proven regular season ball club, bro. That's with Jim Harbaugh. That's with Staley. That's
Mm-hmm.
with Schottenheimer. That's with I don't care who.
I agree, my guy. I agree. I agree. It's just dead weight over there.
So, yeah, they're going to win a bunch of games 10, 11, 12 games.
And that's
Go
it.
to the offs.
And lose.
Yep.
Not too much time on this again, my brother. I'm just, like I said, we got to go through every team. The Dolphins. So we're cutting Tua derail the offseason. So here's the thing with the Dolphins. They already have over 50 million in dead cap space after releasing Tyreek, Bradley, and James Daniel. And I think Tua might be next. So releasing him could saddle the club with another 99.2 million in dead money, brother. So it's unclear whether the late season replacement, Quinn Ewers, I know he was in there last year, giving him some free reps, can fill his shoes. While there's no doubt moving on from Tua, man, because that was McDaniel's guy. So I don't know if this new coach is going to be like, hey, you ain't
Don't be
my guy,
surprised. Don't be surprised if you see Kyler Murray in Miami
Miami.
in a Dolphins uniform.
Yeah.
So two guys right now are being bought out,
Mm-hmm.
Kyler and Kurt. These guys can sign for the league minimum. They've been paid in full. Kyler, 36.5 million.
Crazy.
Kurt's number is much larger than that. So they could do the Russ Wilson, like for you guys a couple years ago, you basically signed him for the minimum
Yeah,
because he was
pretty
getting
much.
all that money from Denver. So there's two of those guys loose on the NFL streets now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then don't forget about Eugene Cyril Smith, soon to be released as
we're
well.
we're not. Nobody's worried about that scrub.
So
No.
one of those three guys I named is going to be in Miami, bro. And it's a disaster. It's a total rebuild, right?
Yes.
When you dump off your top names and your top salaries like that,
It's over.
Chubb,
Yeah.
Hill, and then you're gonna do a Tagovailoa too. It's a total rebuild, and this is not gonna be a good year.
No.
Now, my thing was Jeff Hafley. He was obviously somebody that the league thought more of than we did because I was like, who is this guy? When they hired him. I know he was the decor in Green Bay.
Yeah.
But I still, okay. So, yeah, bro, I don't expect much from them. This is pretty much a full scale rebuild over there. It's a bit nasty. It's gonna. I anticipate it not being a good year. I could be wrong though.
Mm-hmm. Only thing good about Miami is the weather.
Man,
The Patriots. How can the Patriots avoid a Super Bowl hangover, my man? Because they got a lot of great pieces. I know they just released Stephon Diggs. So that should give them confidence in avoiding the Super Bowl hangover, man, including MVP candidate Drake May. Cornerback Christian Gonzalez had one of the best years I've ever seen. But however, though, New England has some glaring issues, man, that can't be ignored. For starters, the club will have enjoyed like the first place schedule. They went 14-3.
yeah,
Will Campbell, he was exposed a little bit, man.
yeah, he was.
Especially on the biggest stage. You
Yeah, he
know,
was.
like I said, you got rid of got rid of Stephon Diggs,
As
but
the light got brighter, he got worse. Campbell did.
the Super Bowl may have been the preview of the test New England will face in 2026, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. I told Dre and another Patriot fan this. Y'all, they not going back to no Super Bowl, man. That was it. That was just something for them to have fun with, and it's over with, man. They'll be a good team, but they won't be no more Super Bowl. No more Super Bowl for them. They had their little fun. They brought back the dynasty or whatever. Ain't no dynasty coming back. F all that. It was fun making it back to the Super Bowl. Hey, you did it without Brady, but you still lost. So hell no, they ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna get about shit. That's all it is. So,
You know,
mm-hmm.
you put that perfectly, bro.
Yeah.
I probably don't even need to add anything to that. They with the combined with the first place schedule,
Yeah.
you know, them just coming back to earth a little bit and not playing a bunch of backup quarterbacks, playing against a bunch of backup quarterbacks when they actually played against some of these teams.
Yeah.
All of that's going to be different this year. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Braves is still going to have them competitive, but, you know, 7-10, 8-9 would not
Yeah.
surprise me, bro.
That's it. That's it.
I ain't even hating either, bro. 7-9. I'm sorry, 7-10, 8-9 would not surprise me for these
It
guys.
wouldn't surprise me either, bro. It would not surprise me either. Who else we got? Oh, the New Jersey Jets. Excuse me, New York Jets. All right. What's their best option at quarterback? So Glenn, I'm glad he didn't get fired. So is the Justin Fields experiment over? You know, Tyrod
It is.
Taylor, he's hitting free agency. And the boy Brady Cook does not look promising, the third stringer that they had in there. So what's next? Do they draft another quarterback? New York will need to exhaust every option at quarterback, man. They got the number two overall pick in this draft. So that will definitely need to provide the answer right there. But they more likely need to explore either a free agent or trade options before they on that clock. Like, what's gonna happen? Talk to me. Like, I just feel like we going through quarterbacks at the quarterbacks. Like, what's the deal with these guys?
Well, if you know New Orleans ain't going to take a quarterback, and Cleveland's not going to take a quarterback, you know we know that Kansas City and Cincinnati is not going to take a quarterback. So, you know, if I'm them, man, I trade down to right in front of Miami at 9 and try to get another pick because they need as many picks as possible. You know, they have them.
But who?
Because you can't overdraft the kid Ty Simpson simply because you need a quarterback, right? You don't want to be
Who do
picking
you
this dude,
trade? Who do you
huh?
trade though? Who do you trade to get more picks though?
Uh,
Who on the Jets would be like, oh man, that's another first round pick I'll take? Who in the blue moon hell on the Jets will you be like, oh, I'll take a first rounder for him?
no, it'd be like a picks, trading picks to get higher in the.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just giving up like your 20th to go up to 2,
Mm.
and maybe next year's third round or fourth round pick to go up to 2.
Mm.
You know, if somebody was desperate. Now, because
It's
Ty
Ty.
Simpson is the next best quarterback, and he's not worthy.
I was about to say, is Ty Simpson really worth
No,
another dead end
not
like
at 2 overall.
Trey? Hell to the dog. Yeah, bro.
My thing
Hell.
with the Jets, they need as many picks as they can get
Yes, they
for,
do.
for the coach to try to turn the culture around to how he feels like he needs it to be able to win. I'm like you said, I'm glad they didn't fire him, but you know the the clock is ticking, bro.
Yes, it is.
Right? They're not gonna give them too many times to go. What the fuck was it? 3-14. You feel
Mhm.
me? You
Yeah.
can't keep going 3-14. So
No, you can't.
maybe one of those guys I spoke on earlier, bro. The buyout guys.
Yeah, right.
I know it doesn't sound
It
exciting,
sounds good. I could see Tua going to the division rival.
you know. It could be one of the buyout guys, but
Yeah.
we have to address the QB, and they find themselves in a pretty bad spot. But they gave up a lot on defense last year,
Right.
man, and they got to get better. So
They do.
it's like we trying to do one question for everybody, but they have too many questions.
They have a lot of questions, man. But this is one of them teams where I'm not gonna waste no questions on. I'm surprised I had to write one question. That was just my question. It's like, is the Justin Fields experiment over? What they gonna do at QB
I guess
situation?
my thing to say about them is they have a lot of questions.
Yeah, they do. I mean, hey, you got another year with him. Stick it out.
And
Pause.
I wish him the best.
Yeah, I wish him the best too. I've stuck up for Fields so many times. I was like, damn, I might just start being quiet on Fields, man.
Yeah, I think
I was excited for him because he had his boy from O State, Garrett Wilson. He had a few O State players on that team that he, could have reunited with. But he just stunk the bed. But even though me and JC said half them losses wasn't on him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Half them losses wasn't on him. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, when you give up 503 points,
Yeah. And you didn't get no turnovers this whole year as a team. So I don't know, Mr. Ragland. Like you said, the Jets have too many questions. They do have too many questions, man.
it's definitely the worst in the AFC. So
Most definitely. But this is a team where we could spend a whole hour episode on these boys and be like, what do they do? Like,
but we won't.
yeah, 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 yeah. But is Glenn's job on the line this year? That's another honorable question I'm gonna ask.
Of course it is.
Think so?
Come on, man. You know the deal.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? I only could have said, all right, bro, we're going to give you 3 years.
3 years.
Right? So now this is the second of those 3. But I believe if he goes 3-14 or less again, he will be fired.
All righty. All right. So I've actually went into a Steelers fan page and I told them we were doing a show like this. And one question really stuck out. Pause. Shout out to my man Jim Welgis for asking me this question. What do they do if Rodgers doesn't return? Thank you, man. Love it or hate it? This answer's for you, Mr. Jim. All right, love it or hate it, right? It feels as if everything is falling into place for Aaron Rodgers, right? To run it back. Am I correct? But still, the Steelers cannot just bank on that. We can't bank on that, y'all. I'm going to tell you why. After all, Rodgers is known for stretching these things out. Pause. That sounded wild. In dramatic fashion, he's a dramatic queen. I've said this over the years. This is the same guy who called him a system quarterback. I called him that. Go watch my older shows.
He certainly did.
Hadn't actually the co-sign, my God, but it's all good. There needs to be a plan in place here. And it has to be better than Mason Rudolph and second-year pro Will Howard. And as I told my man Ragu on the other show, this is where new head coach Mike McCarthy comes in. Because I feel like he can develop a quarterback like he did with young Rodgers. I feel like he could develop Will Howard. So McCarthy has done good talking up Will Howard's potential. Like that's all he's been talking about since he got there. So the fact remains that he's still a 6th-round pick who hasn't played a single preseason or regular season snap. So move on. That's what we do. We move on. And maybe get one of these guys, like you said earlier, with the Russ situation. Do we bank on Kyler Murray? Do we bank on Tua? Do we bank on Kirk Cousins? Yes, no, hell no. But I feel like McCarthy can develop Will Howard, in my opinion. So bank on the future. Just like I told an employee earlier, do we go after Tyreek Hill? Yes or no? Because that knee injury bothers me. If we was to get somebody, let's trade for Brian Thomas. He's the future. Nice little target for Will Howard, him and DK. Same. Boom. We got to worry about the future, y'all. We cannot chase these wins. That's not going to get us somewhere. We could still be that regular old 10 and 11 win seasons, but we got to make it to the Super Bowl. We have the talent to do it. So, Steelers, that's what I got to say to you. And thank you for the question, Mr. Jim.
Yeah, man. The question,
Mm-hmm.
that you have to address is he going to run it back? And I guess you're saying to avoid all that bullshit, just move on.
Yeah, just move on.
Maybe one of the buyout guys while you develop
Will Howard.
Who didn't play at all, right?
Didn't play at all. He was hurt preseason, and of course, he didn't get a chance to play regular season because.
So this training camp, this OTA's training camp preseason is going to be very important for Will.
Yeah.
To see how far along he's come in his second season.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with you, man. And, I don't dislike Aaron. But
I don't either, but he's just a drama queen.
Let's go ahead and end that era. Let's go ahead and close the book on that chapter in the NFL. All right? Let's stop prolonging it, bro. Brady's in the booth. Manning's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Breeze, all these guys you play with, man, and, you guys set on the records and shit, man. All those guys are gone, bro. So just
exactly. Just call it a career, man, before you really tarnish it. Before you really tarnish it, man.
Or get yourself fucked up out there.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm with you. Move on.
Yeah. Because you're in a division that any defense can hurt you. So
and see, he's like a Kobe, Mike, LeBron, these types of guys in basketball, where he could have, I don't know, bro, 2, 3, 4 more seasons if he could humble himself and carry a clipboard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Don't you think so?
Right. I agree.
These guys got to start.
Yes.
These guys got, they got to be a frontline guy, one of the, getting touches, all that shit. Like, I always said that about Mike, bro. Mike probably could have got real close to Kareem's record if he was like, fuck it, I'm going to be like a Vinnie Johnson, man. I'm going to be like a, you know what I'm saying? But they can't do it. Kobe played until his fucking body was failing. Man. So he went balls to the wall all out. So he couldn't play. When he was done, he was done. But, Mike, bro, he had a couple more years as a 6th, 7th man, bro. I felt like they won't do it. And it's Aaron, he won't do it. Go make a few dollars to travel around with the team and help the young QB and be ready if he get hurt. Man, he can do that in his sleep.
Exactly.
But, they got to hang around. They got to have top pay, all that. And okay, that's fine. If you want to be that guy, and that's fine. I understand that alpha personality right there. These dudes have to humble themselves. So it's time to go, bro. It's time to call it a career. And don't nobody else in the league feel like you can start for them. Maybe I'm wrong. Shit. Maybe Minnesota. Maybe fucking New York again.
Yeah, try New York a second time.
Maybe
See
they
how that work
calling
out.
right now, bro. You feel me? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they calling this agent right now and they looking at me watching this like, nigga, you a sucker. Nigga, you don't even know. Nigga, we got calls coming from Arizona. Nigga, we got calls coming from, so I could be wrong. But I feel like it's time to call it
A career, yeah.
time to call it, man. Like on the movie No Country for Old Men.
Oh my God, classic.
It's time to call it.
It's time to call it, man. It's time to call it, man.
Oh, man. Shit.
Last but not least, man, the Tennessee Titans. So what is Salah's plan for improving the defense, man? So despite having a number 1 pick overall, Cam Ward, last season, the Titans chose a defensive-minded coach in Robert Salah to coach over one of, what I would say, a focused offensive team that kind of says, where's your direction here? What is this team's direction? It has a lot of weaknesses. So this Robert got his hands full, man. His work is cut out for him. So they allowed 938 points over the last 2 seasons, man. The second worst in the NFL. So the Titans need to improve drastically at cornerback, edge rusher, middle linebackers. So fortunately, Salah will have plenty of resources to give this a makeover, holding the number 4th overall pick. And you have $104 million in cap space. Like I said, where is this team going?
Well, at first it sounds like clown shit when you have a young quarterback that you just signed last year for the number 1 pick. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hire a defensive coach. It sounds like clown shit. However, the defensive stats you just read off, shit.
Bad.
Shit. They needed Salah. They needed a defensive coach, bro. You got to stop somebody at some point. So now it's just a matter of, do you get the right coaching around your young guy, right?
Yeah.
Salah, who do you dial up? Impressive thing about Salah, he's been in the Shanahan fold. I tripped off the fact that Shanahan and Kubiak, what's his name? Kurt Kubiak, the old core of the Niners.
Kurt.
I fully expected him to go over with Rob, right? And call plays and all that, right? Kyle's got the fucking play sheet over here in San Francisco. You know he ain't giving it up. But then no sooner than Salah leaves, it comes out a little bit later. Oh no, Kubiak, I'm blocking all of the parallel moves for Kubiak. He got to be head coach, or Kyle's like that. He not letting him go to another team as a coordinator. So I don't know who he got to finish out his staff, bro, but he should have found somebody to come with him that knows or has been in the room with Shanny and them, bro, because these dudes have got the juice as far as with quarterbacks right now. Right? It's undeniable. It's undeniable. The Shanahan, Kubiak crew, all these dudes, they are the QB whisperers right now. Right? They got the fucking MVP, and then the other guy, Clint, won the Super Bowl with Darnold, the quarterback that nobody wanted.
Exactly.
So Saleh should have been able to purge some of that shit, man, and come over there and help Cameron Ward. If he's trying to do the best for the kid. If he's not, if he didn't do that, and Coop, when I talked to you, bro, I was in Curacao. He was like, man, I was like, this who they got. You said, this who they got for the number one pick. Like you was not impressed with Ward. You was like, this dude. So, we could be looking at a move on.
Type of deal.
On a couple years from this kid type of situation, man.
Which I can see after next season. It's time to move on.
Yeah. You could be seriously looking at that. So the thing is, who are they gonna get to coach him, help him out? And who are they gonna draft to help him? To weapons, right? The three P's. I just heard this. Shout out to my boys on Locked On. The play callers, playmakers, and protection is what young QBs need. And honestly, bro, do we know if he has any of those?
No. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to be focused on getting Cam help. Like I said, Tennessee Titans is just a team to keep the 32 team slot in order. That's all it is. That's all the Tennessee Titans is. It's just to keep the 32 team slot in order, my brother. That's all there is to it.
So fair to say, we could be looking at them drafting the quarterback next season. Not this season right here, but next season. And at this time next year, Cameron Ward being on the trading block.
Yes. 2028, he'll be on the trading block. Right here, right now. Right here, right now.
What direction are they headed in? Was your question, though?
Yes.
I couldn't tell you.
Shout out to 8 Ball. Every time the 1997 album Lost, I think about that album with some of these teams. That's exactly what the Titans are. Lost. Lost in the sauce.
Yeah. So, the buyout guys will be signing, I think, pretty quickly when the league year starts next Tuesday.
We'll probably do a show about that. So some landing spots. I got another show idea we can run by. We'll definitely be doing some draft prospects. I'm excited to talk with my guy here.
Yeah, after we're done here, I'm gonna go back and watch some more.
Yes.
O-line, D-line 101s from the Senior Bowl.
Yes.
I just can't get enough of that, all that type of shit.
Exactly.
That's where it's at right there, bro. You know what I mean? So that's where the rubber meets the road in football. Is up front right there. So go check some of that guys out because, the draft, Thursday, April 23rd, first round.
You should roll up to Pittsburgh with me.
Right?
You should roll up to Pittsburgh with me, man. You should roll up there with me.
I know, huh?
That's my
son's birthday that day. I don't know if he.
Yeah, because my birthday the 25th, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he's trying to do something or what he's trying to do, but that would, man. Yeah. To jump out there that Thursday, huh?
Exactly. I'm gonna be locked and loaded, ready. Talking all my shit. But yeah, man.
Those are no brainers, the first rounder. It's those next few days, man, is when they really, And these are the guys at the Senior Bowl, right? So that's what I'm looking at now, man. See who as we get into the draft, how those picks are going to go.
Exactly.
So, yeah, exciting times.
Yes, sir. So stay tuned to the Rated Ragu Nation and Honorable Marvin Coop Show. We gonna be boom and be ready for you.
Stay locked and loaded with us.
Yes, sir. We ready for you. So
And Cook, when you put the other one up, you gonna put the other one up and then this one? Or you
yeah, I think yes, sir. I'm gonna definitely put them up tomorrow.
all right.
Yeah. And hold on, matter of fact, let's end this now. We're gonna have a little conversation. All right, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and we here.
Yeah, give me a like, share, comment, subscribe, man. Rated Ragu, man. We ain't gonna hold you, man. Just win, baby. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace.